one thing that happens when you don't get a deal, it's actually a good deal, because if it takes time for you to get a deal, you see so many T12
Yeah.
and rental, so you start understanding, who is performing, what is a good performance, what is not good performance,
Yeah.
price for so what are the rents for in the area, economic vacancy, all of that. So
Yep. This is
I
where
would say good thing not to have a deal right away.
like you said, this is a business and you got to treat it like a business, and you'll be able to read financial statements like a businessman does. And, you'll get the hang of it in time, but you got to, really look at a bunch of financial statements. And as I always say, I said, I can look at a trailing 12 financial statement and tell you what a day in the life of the little old lady property manager is and what she has to deal with on a day-to-day basis just by looking at the financial statement, because I've seen so many of them, own so many properties myself. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Now, and another thing, I have a client who's got over 6,000 units, and he started with me with 0, and he's still my client. And he says all the time, Charlie, some of the best things that you've ever done for me is to keep me out of bad deals. And that's absolutely true, is to walk away when you just know it's not going to work.
Believe me, I worked away from deals so many times.
Yeah. Now, where were you in the process when you walked away? Like, did you go through the due diligence? Did you go through?
I was in one. So it kind of, so today's market, push you sometimes to try and be, I don't know if aggressive. Yeah, I can say aggressive. So
yeah.
in one of the deals, the broker keep telling, we weren't able to see the renovated units. So I told him, listen, there are 51 units renovated. I'm not, if I want to get this deal, no worry, no problem. I will take the risk. But if the 51 units are not renovated, I do not want to retrade, but that's what will happen.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Yeah, I'm not a guy who's going to retrade, but that's the situation. And guess what? We went over the due diligence. I found foundation issues, problem with roofs. One of the building, you were going inside the units and water was to your knee.
Yeah.
Was a mess. Right. So I told him, listen, I'm out.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, and listen,
I don't think the owner needs to give me like a deduction of 800,000, and I will take the deal. And if not, I'm out. So and the broker understood, because it's broker needs to do their job. I have no complaints. I really have a lot of I totally understand their position, because they make money when they sell. They are not working for us. They're working for the sellers.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
so,
but you got to realize that these guys are not your friends. They're not your friends. They don't care about you. They're only there for one transaction, and that's it. I'll tell you, the situation that you just described, I've seen so many times. And one thing that Rafi, if you ever say this again in a negative connotation, retrading is not a 4-letter word. Brokers treat the word retrading like it's a 4-letter word. It's not. If they had disclosed all this stuff at the beginning, you would never have made that offer. But and then they try to put it back on you, like, oh, well, this guy retrades. No, he doesn't retrade. It's the same thing as when you see a property come back on the market that you lost the deal, but it comes back on the market, and you ask the broker, hey, what happened to the deal? Why is it back on the market? Knee-jerk response: the buyer couldn't perform. Guess what? It's not the buyer. It's the property couldn't perform at that price. So, I hear this from brokers all the time, and it just burns me up.
Yeah, but I do think that there are buyers who, they go, listen, if I see that you need to do a work on the sidewalk and the roofs, and suddenly you need a new sign here, you need this, and you didn't take that into consideration, and now you don't want to retrade, that's not fair. Yeah, I agree, right? And I think there are buyers who do that. To retrade or ask for reduction is where there's something was not disclosed. And again, I do not blame the brokers, because sometimes brokers don't know that, right? And some or they do, or they need to do their job. So again, I have no, listen, I like people as general. I believe that people, sometimes they have a different agenda than yours, and that's it, right? So we need to do each one of us should do our own job, doing our best, and whatever the other ones is doing, that's his story.
Yeah.